Hey everybody, happy Thursday. I'm coming at you from my son's recording studio, aka bedroom. He happens to have equipment that's significantly better than anything I could ever have, so thought I'd start here. But wanted to share with you some concepts that I've been experimenting with over the last several months that have been super impactful, and I thought it might be beneficial to share some of what I've learned. You know, it started when I was reading a book called Atomic Habits. They had some ideas that really resonated with me with regard to building small, bite sized habits on top of one another to basically improve your life and the longevity and your health and your wellness and all the things that you're working toward. You can do it with pretty much anything. But what I thought I'd do with you today is share a little bit about the morning routine that I put together for myself, keeping in mind that I have a lot more flexibility than a lot of people. I'm semi-retired, and I do the work I do. I mostly do from home, so that gives me an advantage right out of the gate. So I recognize that, but the concepts hold up whether you work 10 hours a week or 10 hours a day. Doesn't really matter. So the idea is taking a habit that you do every day and you start with that. And really what that is just a starting point. It's a starting point. For me, I like to do my habits, the majority of my important habits, I try to do in the morning because if I do them in the morning, they're out of the way. I'm not spending time thinking about them all day. And it's just a good way to kick things off. So I'll give you an example. I wake up in the morning, sometime during the 5 o'clock hour. I'm doing that because I find if I wake up early, I have some time to myself and I can do these habits that we're about to talk about, and I can do it in a really intentional way that allows me to have a very productive day. And so I wake up, do my morning business, and I brush my teeth. Now, brushing my teeth is simple. Been doing it for years. I do it a lot more frequently than I used to, which is a shame because I should have done it earlier. But here we are. So I brush my teeth and I head downstairs. And so what's on my mind at 5:30 in the morning is to have a cup of coffee. So I made a deal with myself. I can have a cup of coffee as soon as I fill up my water. So I fill up a gallon of water and ice, take a couple pulls off of it, and then I sit it on the counter. And I leave it on the counter. It's in the way. So every time I go through the kitchen, every time I walk through to go let the dog out or whatever, I see this gallon jug of water. I take a couple pulls off of it. And I know if I finish that water by the end of the day, I will have doubled the amount that I need to stay hydrated. Simple as that. It's the easiest thing that I've implemented. So I fill my water, I reward myself with a cup of coffee. I go sit down in the game room. It's still early. It's like 5:45. And I reach over and I grab a book and I read 10 pages. I started doing that during the 75 Hard Challenge. I think it's just an amazing habit to get into. You read 10 pages a day for 30 days, you've knocked out a 300-page book. You do that for 12 months, you've knocked out 12 books. Like, how much better and more informed would you be if you read 12 more books than you're currently reading? It's as simple as reading 10 pages a day. So I do my reading, I sit it down. At this point, I look at this couch that's over by my game room and I go hook my feet in and I do 50 sit-ups. I do those 50 sit-ups because I'm trying to get rid of a belly and I know that I can't probably do a lot more than 50 sit-ups. So I start with 50 sit-ups. It's getting easier. I usually knock them out now in one fell swoop, but it's early in the morning. This isn't my main workout. This is just me getting my blood pumping and accomplishing something, a longer term goal that I'm working toward. So at that point, my dog's down there, maybe let the dog out, maybe go deadhead some plants, check my garden, see if I need to run the sprinklers on my lawn, do the typical stuff you do in the morning. Keep in mind, it's still super early, right? And so then I fill up the cup of coffee, I go upstairs, and I deliver it to my wife because it's a nice thing to do. And I know I love when someone delivers me a cup of coffee. So I do it for my wife. I kiss her on the forehead. I tell her I'm going for my walk. Now, I've been doing my walks in the morning, and the reason I do my walks in the morning is because First of all, I'm not the kind of person that will wait for the weather to be good, because the weather's never good. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so that's just not going to happen. So I look outside, I layer up, and I go for my walk. And my exercise goals 75 minutes a day, every day, no matter what. And so I usually knock the majority of that 75 minutes out with just my morning walk. I'll go walk a couple loops in my neighborhood. It's usually 4 to 4.5 miles. And then I come back and I'm feeling good, feeling strong. And it's before 9 o'clock. So if I did have to go to work, or when I do go do some work or do my banking or whatever, things are just getting moving. But I've already had a whole day of habits that I put together. And they can go on and on and on. And that's the great thing about this habit stacking, is they can be small little things that have just been nagging you for a long time. And you can use the reverse to get rid of habits, find out what you're associating these bad habits with, and try to break that cycle and change the patterns. And I use that to quit tobacco, and I'm using some of those techniques to cut back drinking, and there's all kinds of ways you can use it. But adding these small habits to other habits that you currently have is the easiest thing. And then you build this routine, and then that's just your scene, right? You just do that every day, like no matter what. And I don't know, if I'm drinking more water, I'm walking more, I'm watching my diet more, I'm reading more, I'm doing thoughtful things for my wife more, I'm attending to my garden more, I'm doing all those things more, all before 9 o'clock. Like, how awesome is that? I'm just disappointed that it's taken me 51 years to figure this out. So thought I'd share. Hopefully all is well with you. Just remember, we are not wind blown. We are self-propelled. So let's get up and let's make it happen. Go get them.